Well, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. What's up, everybody?
Good. Group stage is done.
Yeah.
Man, a lot to talk about. Does anybody have anywhere they want to start? Like, is there something? I mean, there's so many storylines and craziness. And...
No, you're right. I think. Well, there are some major storylines here, guys. I think we all agree. One is no Chinese teams in the playoffs. The early exits, right? Like some of these teams you see with the numbers 3 and 4 beside them do not actually belong there, I feel. But looking at it again, though, I think some teams are not too unexpected to exit early, if I am being honest right now. I mean, looking at the groups, right? For example, if you scroll down to group number D, it's tough, you know, as much as I want T1 to stay at the top, 1 or 2, but looking at the rest of the teams, it's Heretics and G2 there. Like,
yeah,
what do you even expect, you know?
Well, and so much of it just comes down to, like, for that group, for me, is like, is Heretics in form? Like, because like they've been so up and down, right? Like, you know, like they're just bottoming out at some tournaments, and it just doesn't look like they're on the same page and they have their crap together. And then, like, once they flip that switch, once they get going, they're really hard to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it at like EWC and other stuff where just like once they get it together, it's such a good team and they're so well thought out. So same with G2. G2's I think like the smartest team that's left. Like they're just really, really well prepared. So it was going to be tough for T1 no matter what. I think. I don't know. I was crashing out yesterday during the G2 game, but like, just lost my crap on Twitter. Like that's like the angriest tweet I think I've ever sent in my life.
It's critical, Clinton. Never
what
seen
did he
like
say?
that before.
Yeah, what did he say? I want to see him now.
Let's pull it up on the screen.
I could talk about this for a long time. Like
please do. I think
this was me absolutely losing my mind. Now some people completely missed the point of this, but I think like there were huge problems for T1 coming into this event with like their prep, and they spent like a month in Europe, right? Like they boot camped over there, and like all their ideas for like the double duelist stuff, because they run mostly Neon Yoru, which some teams DRX run really well, and they did not look well coordinated. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is just I don't know if they're pressing or they're just not communicating well. I mean, they're making bad decisions. Like they're trying to take individual hero fights. Like they're not waiting for the rest of the team. I saw this so much, especially on that Lotus, where somebody would just try to step out of a smoke and find a timing and just get donked. And I'm just like, well, why aren't you like? And I can see the other players rotating on the map. I'm like, why are we like Stax was doing this? I'm like, why are we not just taking a little bit more time here? Like, what's going on? So, and then I said DH looking like a rookie. So I think people misunderstood what I'm saying here. A lot of people are like, he is a rookie. I'm like, no, the point is, is that he hasn't looked like a rookie, right? Like his individual firepower has been incredible. But in this game, he made a lot of mistakes, I thought. And I had been kind of noticing this during champs that a lot of his smokes are not timed properly. I felt like they were either late, or too early or something like that, but a lot of them were late. And then even like there was that little positioning error he had with that smoke on Lotus outside of C where Jogamo saw his leg and shot him because he just barely saw it. And it's like little timing things like that that kind of show that, you know, he's still not quite 100% there. The Waylay on Corrode, I don't even know what's going on there because there were two teams that did this. And they didn't know what they were doing with it. Like there's teams who are great at MIBR, great with Waylay and Corrode, but Izu was just, he did not look comfortable. I mean, it didn't look like they had good plans to, you know, get him and Buzz in sync with like entries and stuff like that. Neon was just not impactful basically at all. I mean, Buzz had a terrible game. Meteor just should not be playing Vice. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I just don't think Vice is his agent. I think he's just better with anything that can give him info and give him tools to play off of in that regard. So KJ, Cypher, whereas you don't have much of that, right? The wall is basically the only part of that with Vice. But that it isn't even the same. It's hard to trade off of that. So like, I just don't think it suits his playstyle. So there you go. There's my T1 crash out.
Thank you. Detailed breakdown. I was thinking the exact same thing. I was reading your tweet, right, Clink, and the one sentence or part of the paragraph that stood out to me was that last part when you said Meteor should not be playing Vice, and I was like trying to think about why this could be a thing that you said, and as I was thinking, it was exactly that info part of the agent that I thought, right, this is Meteor's firepower, in a sense that he's always so good in positioning himself and getting and feeding info to his team when he's like out and about, like separated from the team. And that was what I believe always gave T1 the edge in their decision making. And with Vice, sure, there is some info that you can get with the flash, but it's so limited. Like, it's just, to get to know whether there's someone there or not. And if you're using your flash for that, you're not supporting your team with the flash. And the wall is just a wall. It doesn't really help him. You can always do that with the Cypher trips, the Killjoy traps, whatever. But the info part, I fully agree with you. I think he is kind of tethered into this agent in the play style that he gets out of the agent. So yeah, I would love to see him back on some of the more flexible agents, movement wise and info wise. So T1
stick him on Viper, for God's sake. Like, give him something.
Why not, right?
Work with.
Even Viper without the info utilities, you can still move around freely and just get info by shooting people.
But then the question is, you have to ask the question: then why are they playing it, and why are so many people kind of playing the Vice? And I think teams see a lot of potential in Vice and what the Vice can really do, which is evident by the fact that if you actually look at the stats for not just champs, but even like Toronto, Cypher has by far a much higher win rate on almost every single map compared to Vice. And you have to wonder then why are we still seeing so much Vice in the current meta? And I think it's partly because aside from Cypher, it's one of the only other Sentinels that can have true, proper, almost global kind of influence on the map. But I just think there's lots of potential in Vice, and maybe teams just are kind of afraid of being read for strats that are basically already commonly known. Like, you generally know where Cypher 1-ways are going to be. You generally know where the tripwires are going to be. It's been years. It's a launch agent, right? So people kind of know where to expect the Cypher. But yeah, lower win rate on almost every single map that you see the Vice compared to Cypher on practically everything that wasn't Pearl back in Toronto. But yeah, so why do they play it? There's potential there. And I agree that there is lots of potential with the Vice, but is it really coming into the fold where it's effective enough to justify going to the Vice over the Cypher? I don't think it's there yet, but you can definitely see why teams are kind of preferring it because the potential is there. Are they making that potential? Maybe not.
Right.
I think there's a few players who are quite good on Vice. I mean, Brock comes to mind for NRG, who plays it really, really well, and it suits their style, right? Because they want to delay, because they want to get those initiators into place to mess up your executes and stuff like that. Like, that's something I want to talk about later with them. But I think the thing is I think especially for EMEA and America's teams, like, they want to play delay, they want to play like stall so they can get their pieces into place and do those kind of things, whereas that's not the Pacific MO. And I think to add on to what you're saying, Black and Blue, because I really do agree, I think Cypher's better against the current meta of pretty heavy double duelist stuff, because like, even though the trips are clearable on a lot of maps, people aren't playing even Raze or Sova as much. So it's a lot harder to find those abilities that are going to clear those trips. And you can put deep trips. Like, this is something I think Freeing does really well for DRX on Abyss, where he's got really deep trips, really kind of cheeky setups that are going to catch you off guard. Or what was the one yesterday? RRQ, I think it was, did it against MIBR, where they put two
low and high, right?
Ass went right through them.
Yes,
stuff like that. And I get shuts down these executes a lot better and gives you more pick potential, whereas Vice is just all about stall and delay and just trying to get everything into place for yourself. So
I mean, if anything, I think like part of the reason too of why Vice is so popular right now is because of how popular Yoru is. The fact that he can bypass those tripwires in general. So they want that stall to be able to kind of set the team back, maybe isolate the Yoru. Ideally, a lot of times there's gonna be a Neon right behind him, but it's a give and take. So they're hoping, as you mentioned, to play that stall and I guess really isolate the Yoru as much as possible because Yoru is like by far the most played duelist right now.
Yep, that's true. That's a good point.
I've always hated Vice, guys. Not gonna lie. I don't know why. I just don't vibe with the agent, man. Like, it's not good. I don't think Vice is a good agent. There, I said it.
I'm a Sentinel main, and I hate it. I hate Vice.
There you go.
I'm a Cypher main, so I'm all about.
No, but I see your points. I think Vice has definitely settled nicely into the meta nowadays. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more Vice as well. The rest of the playoffs, but. Maybe just teams need to really figure out if they can fit Vice into their playstyle. Otherwise, we're going to see more of what we saw in T1.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The other storylines, since in the same group, there is that team called DRG that had a massive signing. I don't know if it's a signing or a loan or whatever, but yeah, it didn't really work out for them. Yeah. Unfortunate for them, but I don't think I can't say I'm surprised. Like, as much power as Demon One has internationally and historically.
How about this? Did you guys have hope? Like when they announced Demon One playing on, did you guys have hope? Like
not really. No.
Like none at all. Okay.
Well, I had the sort of feeling of I wanted to see him do well.
Yes.
Just to have that there, just to have that storyline present.
It's interesting.
But I never felt like DRG had a chance to get out of this group.
Well, this group particularly, yes.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah. This is like the worst group they could be in.
Dude, what is this?
I think this sealed it though. Like this is the turning point. Like, oh dear.
This is the backbreaker for DRG.
This is the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Dude, Joanny, 1.1 million views. Holy. Nice.
Dang, John.
Dang. Well, I guess that's what he's good for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. DRG was, it's just like this calamity of errors that happens every year for somebody, like some team, it was Nats in the past where he couldn't get to an event, right? And then now it's Vukashu, and it's just this mess of trying to get your visas all squared away. Yeah, I mean, this is I think something that should be thought about in the future for next year for Riot, because I mean, just think about Pacific and all the talk around going over to Tokyo for our finals, right? Which was great, amazing, freaking love that we did it. Could not be happier, but the stress that it cost for teams to try to get their visas to go there and stuff, this is something that I feel like there has to be some way that we can hopefully alleviate it. I know they tried, they gave us a week, in between before we went there, but still, we gotta figure there's gotta be a way. I
mean, even a week is not enough for some places.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Some places.
Relatable.
Some places
Relatable.
There's a reason why they call the first qualifiers the visa qualifiers, not the group stage.
Yeah.
Not the open bracket.
Very relatable.
I agree. It's an unfortunate truth that I guess everyone has to deal with not just in Valorant, the entire esports scene.
Yeah. Or life in general.
Life in general,
yeah.
But gotta give it to DRG though. I think they did put up a fight against T1. It was pretty close. 13-15, 14-16. Spirits doing really well. So just wanted to give a shout out to Spirits. It's definitely not the end for them. Actually, is it the end for DRG? They gotta go. They gotta go, right?
Yeah, because XLG actually won a game.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
is that what set them off?
DRG had to win a game.
Yeah.
DRG had to win a series if they weren't gonna.
Because it was that the higher placing team gets to stay, right? If that's if my guess is right. Yeah. So DRG is.
Or if they were tied, XLG had the tiebreaker.
So. Right. There you go. So, well, sorry, DRG. Gotta go back to Ascension, buddy.
Unlucky. I love their logo.
Yeah. Gives you a bit of a Pokemon or Digimon vibes, don't you?
Okay.
It's very-
Pretty cool.
Pal vibes.
How about
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
other early exits?
Well, yeah. Should we talk about early exits? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
The big ones.
Let's go in reverse order.
Sentinels.
Well, okay. Let's.
Liquid.
You just want to
Okay,
hit the huge ones.
The
I
big
think we should
red
hit-
one.
I think Liquid EDG are pretty crazy
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people had these two teams getting out of this group.
Yeah.
I didn't. But
If we're
I'm sure
to
a
look
lot
at
did.
like you guys did your pick'ems, right? If we're gonna
Yeah.
dissect your pick'ems, did you have energy going through in that group C?
No.
No.
Right. See,
No.
This like Team Liquid or EDG, I think could have
Yeah.
either way just supplanted energy, but they said no. Energy just too old. Damn.
They're crazy good right now, and
Yep.
part of it is obviously like once they pick up steam, once Mata gets his mechanics underneath him, he's so clean, he's so good. Like he's just so reliable to pick up these huge multi-kill rounds that just shut things down. But one of the biggest things that I noticed when I was watching them was Ethan, not just as an IGL, but especially on his KO on Corrode, like he is so on point with his util. And it's actually a lot of the knives that he throws, like to get mid control. And he'll start out like a lot of times throwing the knife early to hit that point right at bottom mid on the attacker side, right? If they're playing defenders. And like, so he either gets like, okay, they're stacked up there or not. So teams will eventually learn to back off and wait for it. But then he starts like delaying it. He starts throwing it weird timings at you. And like, he was so on point. And then he'd hit these like B wall knives that just caught the enemy team just completely. And I'm just like, God, man, you're so good at this. It's unfair. Like he's so smart.
Yeah. And what's that Nats Waylay, guys? What do you think about that?
Do we like Waylay? How about that? Do we like Waylay, guys?
Yeah, I think now, like we've seen glimpses
man.
of Waylay before, right? Like in the regionals as well. PaperX, I think, obviously one of the first teams to pick it up
Forsaken.
on Forsaken. Didn't really see that like after that first game for some time, and then Waylay made a comeback and did pretty well. So I gotta say I've come to like Waylay a bit more nowadays. But I think this is also one of those agents like Vice where you have to really figure out how you want to incorporate this agent into your play
With
style.
the team, I think.
Yeah,
as
with the
well.
team. Yeah.
I think
And-
like you can see in particular there are rounds where Nats, I think at some point he went to the op as well to be able
Right.
to, refract back. But sometimes he was getting stopped by like Freeing's Vice, I think especially on Corrode. He would dive in, get it a lot, and he wasn't like refracting back. He was just stuck and then died way too early.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like
I don't know if it's the context switching that's stopping him from doing those types of plays, because he's so used to being a sentinel. Playing duelist means you have a whole set of new skills and
it's like a different
aspects
mentality.
to the game that you have to think about that it kind of just doesn't register as fast as opposed to when you're like using an agent that you're just used to. You know everything by second nature, but it's not
That's
like he's
what we
doing
know
bad.
him for, right? Yeah. So, we see the clips, but
It was
like
so
know
so.
him to lurk and
Yeah,
play so
so-
patient, which really is like so different.
It's just it felt a little forced, if that makes sense. And I think like I don't know. I mean like what also is weird to me, somebody on the analyst desk made this point, and it's really good. Like literally anybody else on that team can play duelist.
Can play.
and used to play duelist.
You're right. You're
Why not just throw Nats on Omen or and let Kiko go crazy or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only thing that has me kind of raising my eyebrows at it a little bit. Nats is Nats. He's always going to be good. He's very, very consistent. But yeah, you're right. I think like Waylay has so much ability to be really disruptive if you know what you're doing with it. And like even to like a lesser extent, like when DFM started bringing it out, like May was really interesting with it because he would set up refracts way back at like attacker side spawn, go push up to B main, and if the fight looked bad, he instantly was out.
Just goes
It was
back,
like,
yeah.
nope, we're not doing this. But if it looked good, yeah, that's great. You can keep going and then set up for your execute or whatever. But a lot of players just, it feels like they're forcing it. Like they made a call and they're just going to stick to it. And I think Nats as the IGL too might have had some of that going on. Yeah.
Still great speeches though. Nats.
He is the king of speeches, in-game speeches.
For sure.
Just enjoy being here right now. Enjoy being on the stage. Enjoy playing every single round. We already mentioned that once, that not every team, every person gets opportunity to play here, to feel the stage, to see the crowd, to be on the champions, right? We said that. So let's enjoy every single round, every single opportunity, every single freestyle, every eco, anything. Just think about round by round. Think about how you want to play out the round, how you want to enjoy the round. Boys, we don't know how many days left. They live day by day, play round by round, support each other, bring positivity, and let's be as a team right now.
Okay. What else do we got? Who else did exit early, guys? I mean, we haven't really talked about the big red team.
We
talked about T1. What do you mean?
The other big red.
The other
And then we
red.
can go into the yellow, oranges. Well, not yellow.
Yellow.
Sen.
Okay. I mean,
Sen.
Sen. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. In my pickups, I did have them placing second in the group.
I think a lot of
But
us.
you guys should be a lot of people expecting
I
that.
had everything right in that group until Sen lost to XLG.
Oh, there you go.
And then I was like, oh no, my
Oh, no.
pick'ems. Because I thought Sen would beat GIANTX in the rematch.
Yeah.
Was my assumption.
Yeah. I don't know. What do we even talk about, Sen? Like, did we?
They
we
have a
just
really
feel-
good Corrode.
Yes.
I'll
they
say
do.
that. They're great at mid control and Corrode.
Yeah.
I will say that. They are brilliant at that. And they shut people out of that map.
Mhm.
But outside of that, they just did not have great game plans and they weren't shooting. And it seemed like they were just off. I don't know. It's hard to say what's going on. I mean, a fly on the wall, it just doesn't feel like maybe they're on the same page or, because a lot of times Zekin seems pretty far out ahead of the rest of the team and they're not really backing him up enough. And there's some problems, I think, with synchronization there.
Yeah, I don't think we got to pretend like we know everything about other regions, guys. We are YAP2ASIA after all. So let's just leave it at that. Like, we don't. And we never know what's really happening with the team anyway.
They have some Asian people there, you know.
Okay.
That's true.
All right, fine.
In a way.
Zekin is Filipino. Yeah.
Zekin,
Filipino, correct.
Yeah.
Laban Piñas.
That's how it is, you know.
Okay. Well, let's talk about something we know about, guys. Like RRQ. The yellow
Mixed
team.
feelings.
I had a hope for this group actually.
Same, dude.
I did. I had good
Really
hopes
wanted them
in
to
my
make it.
personal pick'ems. I had them at second seed for this group.
Same.
And
Same.
Fnatic going in,
Same.
but MIBR are pretty good with what they do. Funnily enough, MRBR are also one of the only teams that play the Waylay solo duelist. Most other teams run double duelist with the Waylay because, and this is what I think I brought it up in a previous podcast when Waylay was first announced, that I'm assuming that people are going to want to play Waylay in more of a dive comp situation. I assume it's going to be Raze, but it ended up being Yoru, typically paired up with Waylay, or sometimes even Neon. But in general, MIBR are one of the only teams who are successful at making that Waylay solo duelist work out. Most other teams have a double. So how do they do it? I don't know. I just know they do it.
Hey, Vaspas.
Dude.
It takes
Like,
the
did you see him when he was like just 4K'ing every other round against
that
RRQ
little
yesterday, dude?
That little micro flick he had on Corrode.
Yeah, that
It's
one.
unfair. He's freaking blinded up and he comes out of it instantly, just bloop, this little micro flick, and you're just dead. And it's just unbelievable.
He is Aspas.
He's Aspas. The one round that stuck to me was on Abyss. I think it was towards the end of the map. Let me just check which one it was. It was on attack. He was on B side, I believe, when he was just on top of the container and he was like looking at like small little hits and he just showcased his pinpoint accuracy, flicks to heaven, kill one, dash forwards, kills another, round over. that's basically MIBR with Aspas on point.
And
How do you fight that?
conversely, like he's insane. Like, first of all, like he is just, when he's on, he is one of the best players on the planet. That's just all there is to it. But one of the shocking things for me was how off his counterpart looked in Jemkin, right? And well, I mean, this has been a problem for Jemkin at the international stage outside of the one abyss against Bilibili. He's struggled. And like the one where Jemkin gets on the box on a site and is watching, and the smoke is there, and he's not like mentally aware that somebody can hop up on that little box that's in the back corner and shoot you, and like just gets destroyed, and like didn't even like register that it was going to be a thing. And like little stuff like that, it just felt like, you know, you could tell the experience difference, but also like the confidence difference and sort of the mental just fortitude that, you know, a player like Aspas has versus, you know, Jemkin, who's still trying to find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really tough group, I think, for RQ to be in regardless. Sure. I had hopes, but when I saw the other teams that were in there, it's like just.
Even Bilibili, we couldn't really count them out at the start. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happened they 0-2'd, but that's besides the point. Yeah, for me, I think when I was watching them against MIBR last night, I did have hope, but looking at the rounds they played, it did feel like there is a bit of a communication breakdown between them. Some of the rounds, they just aren't as coordinated as they should be. You know, the way they stack their utilities, the way they move out together when they're retaking, the trades aren't really there. So all of these little things just add up, and this is not the RRQ forum that we saw in the regionals. You know, like this season in stage 1, and even before Tokyo and Tokyo, like they looked way more solid than they did last night. So I don't know what happened. Again, it all depends on what is really happening in the team, and so only the players themselves, the coaches will know, but something's off from what I've seen from their games.
I just feel like the meta doesn't fit them right now, frankly. I don't like how Jemkin looks like on Waylay, frankly. Like, he's definitely a much better Jet than he is on this. I feel like he's almost pressured to play the Waylay just because everybody else is doing it, but Jet is definitely very viable still. And Maniac, he can stay on the Neon. He's always been playing Duelist. I just think the way that the current meta has shaped up, it just doesn't fit them compared to the start of the year, like where we were 8 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, they were a Tejo reliant team for a while there, and they kind of fixed it. And they started, going for some of the Waylay and the double duelist stuff, and it looked good in Pacific, but it doesn't hold water against a team like NRG and Fnatic, who are just really well prepared. You got to give like huge credit to the coaching staffs for those two teams. I think Fraud is a great coach for MIBR. He's really legend, really, really nice guy too. Like, does a great job with the team. You can see how invested he is in it. Like, he's so emotional in the coach camps. Like, the guy's just, I think, screaming louder than any fan that's in the audience. But it just felt like RQ to me got like tunnel vision often, and like you're talking about Sleepy. I think comms broke down, and therefore protocols broke down. Yeah, and like so many times they're getting hit by flanks, and they're just not reacting to stuff properly, and as I would expect. And I mean, you know, you could tell the Magnette was very frustrated throughout this series, and you know, Crazy Guy just seems like he's kind of like trying to zone in and he's always staring at his monitor. There's like, you need an emotional leader on that team because you don't have a ton of emotion generally. I mean, Xpharaoh, Cushy, and Jemkin, not much emotion there. Xpharaoh showed some in Tokyo, which was nice, but but like between those three, you're not really talking about guys who are emotional leaders. So it kind of has to be Magnette. And the problem with him is that he has very high highs and very low lows, it feels like, at least when you see him on stage. Like, that's just me talking about what I'm seeing. I have no idea if this is true or not, right? But it feels like Magnette is just very
I do kind of recall stuff like that as well. Like from back when he was on PaperX, the early beginnings of RRQ, he would tend to have performances where the lows are, it's tough for him to bounce back from it. So I can kind of see where you're getting that from.
Yeah. So what I'd like to see is more of him like stepping up, like he hits a big 3K or something, and he's the one standing up and like letting them know, and because other than maybe xFaro, you're not getting that from anybody else on the team. So,
It's those two.
Yeah, it really is.
So you're saying they're too chill for their own good, you think? Like they just don't emoting on stages as big as champs, I think, is super important.
To keep the vibes up.
To keep the vibes up, yes, for sure. And I don't know if it was the pressure of being in Champions. Is this the first time they've been in Champions? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is, right?
Second international, but
second international, yes. But it is all within this year, right? And I think they didn't really have a chance to do much last Masters either. But this was the first Champions and their first international BO3 win as well. So I kind of wanted them to carry that momentum a little bit more into their next matches, like with this match against MIBR, but we didn't really see that. So I don't know if it's really the pressure getting to them, but all in all, you got to give it to RQ, guys. This season has been their best one yet. And
actually, okay. xFaro has been to a Champions before for doing
that's right.
Yes, I'm talking about RRQ as a team. But yes, xFaro was there, and maybe that's why he's like a bit more chill about it. But I would have loved to see him be a bit more of that big bro, if you know what I mean. Like, because he's been there before. He's been on a champ stage. Why not try and lift up the energy of the others? But again, we don't know what happening in the team, but hopefully nothing bad, nothing major, because this team has potential. We're always believers, right? In RQ, I feel like when we talk about teams in Pacific, we're always believing in them, like since even last 2 years, I think. But only this year we're kind of seeing that progress really developed into reality. So let's hope to see more.
Maybe we should try to get Ewok or Monette on sometime.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I really want to pick their brains and see what they've been cooking before and after champs. So, for sure.
I'd love to. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, big picture, RRQ, like, they're getting better, right? Like, it's been improvements every season.
Yep.
So, like, it's so hard, especially with how stacked, like, Champions is. Like, this Champions is brutal. Like, there's so many good teams. So like,
I feel like we say that every time though.
Yeah,
it is so true though.
But it is true every time.
But that's also, I guess, the beauty of Valorant. Right?
Every
region is like full of great teams.
Yeah.
And for RRQ to like come in at this point, it's just tough, man.
It is. It is. Yeah, a bit disappointed that only 2 of us made it, guys.
I thought we'd get 3.
Yeah, at least 3. I thought, but not as bad as China though. Sorry, China region, but yeah, I don't know what's happening there, to be honest.
I think there was some Twitter talk about that, right, Quack?
A little bit. I think Hawk kind of knows. Fade.
Oh yeah, Fade. We gotta get him too.
Yes,
we do have to get Fade. Actually,
he will have insights into the whole Chinese scene. His experience at Toronto, obviously, with the Miracle Run. But yeah, let's see this tweet from Hawk, or Fade, as you guys know him online. 0 China teams in the playoffs. Lots of work to do. Next year during Champs Shanghai, I'm sure at least one of the Chinese teams will deliver an amazing result on the international stage. Oh yeah, next year is in Shanghai.
Yeah. Super humble, still like, pledging to work hard. I think it's the bottom one where Elevated, gives a response and has a genuine question.
Okay.
Right, about how he feels CN has incredible mechanics, which very true. But yeah, a lot of the players maybe rely heavily on the shooting to get their way out of situations, and maybe it's like a little bit chaotic and random sometimes, or like they're just not there up to par on the macro or micro side. And Hawk kind of agrees. He's saying that, they do have incredible mechanics, but sometimes it's inconsistent. And also, the majority of players just, they don't really invent or innovate in terms of like strats a lot, but they do pretty well in catching up and like seeing and adopting what other teams do, which I guess it's kind of true. And if you're considering how much the meta has like shifted this year, I guess it kind of makes sense, you know, from the start of the year to like this point where you're starting to see all that waylay vibes and all that. The Chinese team's comps is still somewhat different, and they are relying on mechanics a lot, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mechanics can only kind of get you so far, right? Like when mechanics breaks down, that's when you need the strats. When shit hits the fan, you revert back to the lowest form of practice that you have. And so if you don't have as much, or rather as high of a floor in terms of your strats and your practice, then where else, you know, will you revert to? So I agree. Like mechanics can only get you so far. Maybe early on in the days of Valorant when strats weren't super intricate yet, then you could get a bit further. But nowadays, there's a lot more required for a professional team to make the distance in one of these international events.
It feels like this whole conversation is describing the Asian FPS in general since forever. We have a lot of firepower, like since the old days of CS, but we've never really caught up. I think only now we're seeing both in CS and Valorant that Asian FPS is kind of on the rise with Mongols and CS side, and thankfully a few of the teams over here in Valorant. But it's a very generic problem, which I think requires a specific solution, which is more coaches. I don't know if this is going to require a lot of imports in terms of the coaching staff, because if you're going to fix a problem from inside, you probably have to get a lot of outside perspective. That's my feeling. So if the teams in China are going to try and catch up faster, I think that's one of the solutions.
Yeah. I also don't know, frankly, how the training regiments are in China in general, but that is something that I remember Clint bringing up was a big disparity between a lot of like the other APAC teams compared to a lot of the other Korean teams, right? And in general, like Pacific compared to, especially before Valorant, the way that Asian teams would practice esports is very different compared to the way that Western teams would practice, a lot of these FPS titles. So that being also part of it, not just in game, but also how they approach the game outside of the server, that is also a big thing that I think would be of value if you bring in an external coach from a different region, how they approach the training regimen, not just what they train, but how they train.
Yeah,
fully
I think
agree.
I think I'm right there with you. I mean, you can practice till your hands bleed, but if you're not practicing properly, it doesn't make a damn difference. And that's something I think a lot of people don't get in Asia in particular. I mean, I think there's this mindset, right, like where you have to just grind, and that's all that needs to be done to get yourself over the line. Because when you're a kid, that's how you're going to pass the tests, and that's how you're going to do XYZ, and that's actually not true. You know what I mean? Like I got through college, boys, not doing a lot of studying because I wasn't good at studying.
Because he was smart.
Well, kind of, but also like
he has a PhD.
I don't know how he just took it. That's great.
And he's humble too.
He's humble.
I mean, it's sure. Like I always had a flair for math. We'll say that.
Okay.
But like, it was also when I did study, it was very targeted, and I made sure that like that time was well spent, and it was I wasn't just rote memorizing stuff. Like I think this leads into my bigger point here with some of the Chinese teams, and to kind of build on what Fade is talking about, he's saying they're good at stealing stuff from other regions, right? Okay, fine. Everybody does that. Like Boaster talks about this all the time, where he's constantly stealing stuff from like the APAC teams. Like he's watching DRX in particular, like back in the day, and like taking a bunch of their little executes and strats and stuff. And that's totally fine. But the thing is if you're doing that, you have to know why and when. Right? Like, when are you going to implement those, and why are you doing them that way in those situations? That's right. And that's something that Boaster gets. That's something that a lot of teams in America and EMEA get. Teams at APAC are starting to get it. They're definitely getting there for sure. But China, I don't think is quite there, and I think they're not fully thinking enough steps ahead in the game. And also some of their micro. I agree with what Fade is saying here. Sometimes, dude, the amount of times I see Kong just standing out in the open. Just come on, man. Like you gotta have, oh my god, you gotta have somewhere. Like you're not playing Jet no more. You don't have free dashes. Like you gotta be thinking about your positioning better, bud. Like his Yoru still needs work, and you know, as great of an individual, you know, player he is tremendously skilled with the mouse. The keyboard needs help.
That took a second. But yeah.
I love that. Well, I mean, this is echoing some of the points that I think Sleegy was trying to say as well. Because I remember I watched a video. I don't know if we can pull this up, Johnny. Sleegy was just tilted the shit out of China. Just watching some of the games that they play, and he was like, he predicted that. Well, there you go, Sleegy crashing out watching China.
That's like you just search Slicky China.
Slicky China, and it's the top results. Yeah, that one. So, well, you guys can watch this on your own. I don't think we have the time to show you everything that he's saying here, but if you watch this, I think you get a pretty interesting insight into the mind of an ex-coach and an avid VCT watcher. I think avid is still an understatement. Slicky is insane for watching literally every region, and he's trying to
remember
watch
so
China.
much. I'm so
He does.
jealous.
Right?
It's not fair. My brain doesn't work like that.
So
yeah, so
it's crazy, right? He watches
Makes
everything,
sense.
and so I
Makes
do
no joke.
kind of trust his judgment on some of the things that he's saying here on stream. And
Let's
in
hope he
summary,
watches this too.
yeah. Let's see. Hopefully, Sleeky, say hi.
We can always
but
drag
anyway,
him on here. I bet he'd do it. The guy's an absolute just machine. Like he'll do it.
dude, that would be sick. I think we should try to aim to do that sometime in the future. But anyway, my point is, in summary, guys, if you don't want to watch this thing, he's saying that after watching some of the games over there in the China region, he's saying that there's just not that much hope for this region in the Champions of 2025. And that turned out to be true. He must be onto something, and he must have his reasoning and his thought process on how he arrived on this conclusion. So I definitely want to get him on and try and pick his brain for that. Or maybe some of the Chinese team should be the ones getting him on their team.
Ooh,
and just fix shit. Wouldn't that be interesting, you think?
EDG Sliggy.
EDG has a nice ring to it. But yeah,
Speaking of EDG, that quote that Can came out with before the Star Champions, it did not age well.
Well, what about the quote that he has after? Something about like how he would return, like be himself again.
No, he said, "I'm the mechanic of fear" or something like that, or death. I don't know what he said.
There's
something
so many
like
at this point.
something crazy.
You're paraphrasing wildly here, I think.
Let me.
Yeah, try to pull it up.
The man's got a future as a poet. Like that's
for sure. He's a lyricist.
This is what he said: "When facing fear, I am the designer."
That's a fire line, though.
It's so good.
It's so good, dude.
And then then he has a photo of him under the Eiffel Tower in Paris. That's what he attached to it. His tweet right before China.
Damn.
All right, there goes
so,
hard.
but the picture's weird there. Then is he saying he?
I don't know.
Are you trying to analyze?
I am. Why the Eiffel Tower? I can't put it together in my brain. I mean, it's a fire quote.
It is.
But
I'm not sure we get the full meaning of it, to be honest. But I think it sounds fire as hell.
Yeah, it is. It is good.
In comparison to that,
good for the hype.
The trash talk from G2 to T1.
Oh well, we gotta talk about that because that's actually, even though we already talked a little bit about T1, that was actually a huge part of this. So first,
there were
of all,
some good ones,
dude. Yeah. I mean, Valen was on a freaking mission, dude. He
on Meteor.
On Meteor,
They wanted to just dunk on Meteor, dude. Like that was their whole game plan. Because like, I can't remember who it was. There was somebody from Pacific, one of the crew. I think it was Karan and somebody else. Were doing like a watch party, and they basically said like, if Meteor isn't playing well, that's how you beat T1.
GG.
Like you just shut him down, and the whole thing just crumbles. The whole thing just starts to fall apart because if he's not fragging out, then your flanks aren't under control, and you're not getting clutches and all this other stuff from him. And kind of true. I think Izu's the caveat to that. I think Izu, obviously DH again played very, very well throughout these last couple of these couple of appearances that he's had. But Izu's been super consistent this year. He's a really solid duelist all around. So you got to give him some credit. But Meteor is when Meteor is on, he is arguably the best player on the planet. So like you need to, if you shut him down, the whole thing just crumbled. And Valen knew it, and he from the get go, he's just standing up and yelling at him. I mean, just right away, and that was a part of their game plan for sure, was to get in their heads. And I mean, I think obviously part of that's like the Baby Bay influence, right? He comes in and he wants to trash talk, he wants to stand up. And they didn't do much of it before, and now they're thriving on it.
Yeah.
I think the NA account had a compilation of it. It was pretty hilarious to see. I mean, apart from that one, Meteor not shooting back.
Not shooting back, yeah.
There was like some others like in a string together that just looked hilarious. That's the whole thing.
What's going on? Yeah, put your hands in your face, bro.
Happy birthday!
Nice try. Sit down.
Yeah, DH looking over here. You scared? You scared?
I mean, yeah, it works sometimes, especially, I don't know. I think it doesn't really work well in our region because everybody's just nice. And so you doing that is just going to come off as weird, but it's the world stage, right? So rules are a bit different over here. And apparently it does work well when the other side of the world is doing it.
Yeah, over here we stab each other in the back, not the front.
Yeah.
Depends. We just don't fist bump.
Okay.
I didn't actually watch it.
Okay, look, even that is not really us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true.
And that's also a very, I think, specific to the culture of that city. That
right.
You would, like, in the Midwest where I'm from in America, like most people wouldn't do that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, see, Clint's not even claiming that as part of theirs.
Giving us good content though. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, for sure. The whole world enjoyed it.
Watch party, and he's supportive.
No, the thing is like, cool. Dude, I actually get along with Frost really well, which is like really odd because our personalities are very different. Yeah. But like, I get along with him great. But cool, I also get along with like a lot of people who probably don't like him really well as well. I don't know. So it's all kind of weird. But this actually was something I was thinking about last night when I was watching the match as I was crashing out. That there are cultural differences in how you approach competition and what you're allowed to do at competition, right? Like, especially in America, like you watch American sports like basketball, baseball, like baseball, they're flipping bats, basketball, they're doing, crazy stuff like turning around after they throw the ball up because they know it's going in, and like just the most like just confidence pilled stuff, right? Like, and that's fine to do. And I think you said it well, that in Asia, they're not really about that. Like, it's too braggy, like you're bragging too much if you do it in Asia. And so I think it's hard for these players to like get to that psychological point where they can either just accept that the team across for them is going to be doing that, or that they need to do it back. And like Buzz did it at he had an iconic moment in Bangkok, and Stax has done it in the past.
Yes,
but they weren't doing it at all, and they were just mentally just out of it. I mean, from the get-go.
Yeah. But those weren't like direct like attacks, I guess, towards our opposition. It was more like with Stax, he was popping off, he was doing emote, he was like kissing his mouse. It wasn't like
it wasn't confrontational. It wasn't
well, Buzz's was.
Well, I guess. But that one is
Buzz's was personal.
You guys remember when Stax like waved to a team like to say bye at some point?
But that was like for revenge, because their little brothers, aka us, was knocked out and was getting waved at, and then they got the revenge for us, right? So
retaliation.
I don't know, maybe I'm just coping right now. I'm just trying to justify our very few actions that we can see on stage, but I feel like there's a little more context to what we do when we do those things. But in the West, they just do it for the heck of it, because it's part of the competition. It's fun, and I do find it fun personally because I used to watch a lot of the major esports growing up, so I'm used to it, right? But some of these players, Valorant, more likely than not, is their first game, and they come in playing Valorant. They see the stuff that comes out of the official channels, the community. We're all so nice and chill, especially in this part of the world, right? And
Can you
then they get
can
on
you
stage.
imagine like Depp standing up and like yelling at someone?
exactly.
No.
No freaking
No.
way that's gonna happen.
But I
Ever.
would love it if it
I would
did.
love it. Yeah, that would be so
Dude,
fun. And people would
I'm
get
gonna
scared
message
if
him and
Depp
just be
does
like-
that. Don't you think?
Yeah.
If Depp
Oh,
does it,
If Depp
Dude.
does it, you know you're cooked. Like you're
Dude.
just done.
he's insanely scary. He's got aura. Yeah, that would be crazy. But no, we don't do that.
I feel like that's true for a lot of Japanese people in general. If you did something that they could verbally get pissed off at you, you probably
Ooh.
were the asshole in that story.
I've watched enough anime to know I'll be f***ed up if that happens. Nah, not going there.
But I think it is really important, like the confidence and all that stuff.
For
like
sure.
it matters to see a player on your team getting up and giving the other team the business. You know, like that matters.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean, I can speak for myself, for my team, that it did work wonderfully when Jason just started standing up every single round. You know, we won a trophy, so it did work. So yeah, maybe we should be taking classes on these stuff for the teams over here.
But speaking on that, I mean, I guess we could kind of like segue into
Yes, let's
our
do
teams that did do well.
Let's do
PaperX.
that.
I'm not gonna lie, I still got quite nervous watching the GIANTX game. Still nervous. You kind of know, like you still have faith in them. but it's
Isn't
like,
that just the PaperX way? You're just
it
always
is.
on a
It's
knife's
PaperX
edge.
experience.
Yeah. That was a coin flip with us, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, that first map did not really go too well, but it is Ascent,
It is
and it
Ascent.
was kind of a close game still. So I obviously came into that game was hoping to see just a early lead, but obviously we didn't really close it off. But we didn't really like horrendously on that map, you know. But going into Lotus and then finally Sunset, like things just got gradually easier. I think each map. I say easy, but more like okay, we're finally getting into our groove. You know, it's still a tough fight, but I think everybody just got into their groove. We got a few very good rounds, I think, out of Lotus, like that Jing satchel into the Yoru flash, 3K, and then 8-second boom, round over. Stuff like that, you know, kind of tells you that PaperX did get into the groove again. And Sunset, we just rolled over GIANTX, so that's pretty good.
I think your Ascent comp actually has legs for PaperX.
Yeah,
Like I actually do. I think they're just trying to figure it out a little bit still, like trying to be able to make adjustments on the fly and like really get that double sentinel going a bit more on the defender side, because it makes sense the attacker side is going to struggle with this comp. Like you don't have a ton to really break through onto sites, not more than any other comp would have, right? Like that you're going to run on Ascent. Like if you look at what GIANTX has, right? Like they're running just the traditional comp with the Cypher instead of the Killjoy, you know, with that flavor. But you still have flashes, you still have the Yoru, you still have the Vice, like you still have the info, you still have the paranoia, you still have the Omen smokes. And if you could get to a post plant, like in theory, the Vice plus the Sage stuff should be very annoying to deal with. But it's getting there on Ascent is always difficult no matter who you are. I think just the defender stuff just needs some, you know, more consistency with the ideas, and it should be fine, I think.
Yeah. I think historically we just always have struggled with our defense rounds because, you know, we're just known as a very aggressive team. And for Ascent specifically, I think we did just lose a couple of too many rounds because, you know, if we got 2 more on the defense with this double Sentinel comp, like that should have brought us over the line against GIANTX on Ascent. Yeah. But yeah, that's something that the team is probably talking about nonstop since forever. Defense
But
is still a struggle.
you have to, because teams are going to test you on it.
Exactly. Exactly.
100%. Like the good news is it's G2 next, in a way.
Is it a good news though?
In a way. In a way.
Okay.
Because your map pools are going to line up, I think, pretty well.
Right.
So that should be kind of okay. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
Don't be, please.
but if you got to play like Fnatic, if you got to play like the other EMEA teams who like Ascent, then that's where I'm nervous. That's where things start to get.
That's the rest of the tournament. Like, it's a bit of a stretch, but map pool, that's a key word, because we also haven't seen like PaperX's corrode this yet. Like, I get kind of nervous thinking about how, you know, they might go into like semifinals and later on.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully they have stuff prepped, but you never know.
Okay, so one theory would say then we could, if we're to win champions as well, it has to be from the upper bracket. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough fight with corrode.
I agree.
Man.
I don't know.
What's this?
I wouldn't be surprised if your corrode is good, but that's maybe just me.
Yeah, well, do you see this guy?
Well,
you have confidence that our corrode is good.
I don't know why. I have a weird belief that, like, at least you're good for one. Like, maybe the first time you play it, you're gonna
just
punch somebody in the mouth.
Surprise factor, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Let's come out with something crazy.
Yeah.
You guys really have never played it, huh? Jeez.
People in Toronto.
No, we haven't. We almost got the corrode.
That's right. You floated it once. That's
right. Decider, but we didn't get to the decider. And it was chosen by our content lead, Clara.
Yeah, that's right. Clara's like, yeah, corrode.
I
really wanted to see. I really want to see your guys' corode. I think you're gonna have to play it at some point, maybe.
For sure. I think this
tournament.
Yeah, probably.
Watch G2 pick it against PaperX.
No, it's gonna be a perma ban. I don't think that's.
I don't think Josh RT is gonna gamble like that. I think he's gonna play maps that he has taped. Right. I think.
Right.
I hope.
Unless he's got something really good in the back pocket.
Okay, that could be interesting. All right, so that's PaperX.
DRX
we haven't really talked about. Yeah. Who wants to start? DRX, what's up?
I'm gonna pass it to Clint.
Clint does have a clip though. Clint has a clip for.
Okay, so like obviously the whole talk around DRX is gonna be the Yoru Waylay stuff, right? And like what they're doing with it, and it's really deep, and they're so much better at it. I mean, I know I've said this a billion times on this podcast. The Turby haters need to shut the up. I'm so tired of it. Like personal feelings about him aside, he is a really solid coach. Like, can you imagine that you have a coach who's been to every champions, who's gotten 5th, 6th at most of them, got 3rd at one of them, is consistently winning, regional events in a very tough region to win in, because there's often 2 or 3 really good teams in your region. And then he keeps with prep. Like if you had a graph that was like time versus like prep, or time versus like results of prep, like he's an exponential curve. Like he is like he comes in every champions and he just beats up people, and like and it's obviously the players are good too, but he has such good ideas. And let's look at this round. So it's just a B execute, but watch the recon dart, watch the Waylay, or excuse me, not the Waylay. Well, the Waylay, watch that too, but the Neon fast lane, and like watch the way this all coordinated. Then watch Mako as well, the way that he, because of this recon dart. So go ahead and get it going there, Jwandi. Like, watch this setup. The recon goes right down the middle to clear back, and immediately Mako's like, nobody's there, double TP. Immediately. And then they just are flooding into sight. And they're hitting shots too, but you can dash as well. So you're able to take backside control instantly. They were doing this time and time again on this map. Whether it's A, whether it's C, there is nothing that NRG could do to stop this backside control. And this was just a bonus too as well. That's why I really wanted to showcase this one. I mean, Mako in particular here, he'll do this from time to time. He doesn't do it all the time, but he will just double TP in there and catch teams off guard. And that's the whole thing people don't realize is like, there's actually 3 TPs in this comp, and they will just send it at you, because once they have the info, once Mako gets that read, the confidence is there to just go and take control of the site and end a round. So there's literally like 5 or 6 other rounds that are just like this on this map. And this is what makes DRX so scary right now, is their map pool actually pretty good. I mean, their bind needs a little work, but it's probably good enough. I mean, yeah, we could talk about Nats walking through the TP, and maybe it's a different map if that doesn't happen. Probably is a different map if that doesn't happen. But their corrode is fine, and their Haven and their Abyss are S tier, and that's a real problem. And they're especially for their opponent who likes the same maps as them.
Ha. That's
all I'm
right.
gonna say.
I was just thinking about it more, and I can't believe there are still Termi doubters, dude. Like DRX was the gold standard for executes and setups since forever. And if people are still kind of surprised or doubting the way DRX could set up these rounds, I think they're kind of a little loose in the head.
It's like that saying where people say like 90% of rock and roll riffs are just ripped off of Led Zeppelin or AC/DC. That's almost kind of the same for a lot of these strats. Like even something as basic as "I'm going to flash you in and you dash in." That came from them.
That's DRX.
They practically wrote the book on somehow a lot of these strats are to be played off. And so you whatever other opinions you might have of him, he survived a no fist bump, but ultimately he is a great coach, and he's had how many different rosters now that he's been still at the top, right? Still one of the best teams in the region. It's undoubtable that he's one of the goats of coaching.
For sure.
And also Mako just pulls so much aggro there in that position. It's crazy.
Dude, he does it in a couple in a couple rounds every once in a while. I'm just like, oh, he did it on Abyss. Did you that one where it was against Liquid yesterday? No, 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. Time has lost all meaning. He TPs up onto the box outside of A main and then TPs behind the plat that's outside of there. And they had no idea.
Yeah, this one.
Into the one way.
Absolute.
Oh, dude.
This is
That's
just
wild, right?
Insanity.
This is just big energy. I'm sorry. This is just
you know what? There's no other appropriate term for it. That's the one.
Mako.
Just the stuff he can do individually is crazy. And I want to give a shout out to Bane. He's been playing really well, and he's that vibes guy, right? You need that, and he's always just, he has these crazy clutches, so. How much do I want to say? I know things about this team.
Okay.
All right, don't get yourself in trouble.
That's why
I'm not going to do that. But all I'm going to say is, look, Bane is vibes.
Yeah,
clearly. But he also showed that he does great prep too, right? With the way he was knocking out Nats's utility on the first Abyss, the first time they played, crazy good. Like every shock dart was just on point, taking out Nats's util. Even though Nats was varying it round around, it was crazy. He was getting great reads. He even had one where he was droning in, and I was watching this, and the drone and the Sova drone turns around. They're on attacker side A main, and he looks up and he knows where the cam is. Now he might have heard it toggle, but he's like, cam's up there in the corner, guys. Like, and he points it out. He turns the drone around to show where it is because he doesn't see anything else in sight. He's like, oh wait, cam's up there. Make sure you guys are aware of that. Like just little things like that. He's doing really well.
You have to shout out their coaching staff as well, and I emphasize the staff to bring him that data. Like if it doesn't go here, it's probably going to go here next, and it's probably going to go here next.
That's a good point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Who else we got in the playoffs, guys?
Those are the only Pacific ones.
That's all we ask.
So I guess
Looking to
that's
playoff
it.
predictions.
Yeah.
Maybe
Thank you guys.
Do you want to go into Black and Blue's clip?
Oh right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
have a clip.
Oh yeah. What is yours?
Finished talking about PaperRX. It was actually the map that we were looking at here, and this composition. Funnily enough, I think you guys were mentioning that it would be interesting to see this versus Fnatic, and I agree because in the chance that we do have a matchup against PaperX and Fnatic, this comp that they're running on Ascent, this is a map I want to see between them because this is actually a comp that I think they're the only two teams in this tournament use this specific comp on Ascent. You look on over to when Fnatic first kind of pulled out the bones of this, I think they were running like a chamber throughout most of Toronto, but they still had the Vice. And even though technically PaperX kind of ran this specific comp earlier, I think that was during like the end of the regional season, they still kind of took the idea ultimately from Fnatic to run that double Sentinel with the Vice here. And so let's play it. Let's roll the clip, Joan D. Let's roll the clip. So this is on round number 3, right? And immediately I love here that a lot of teams like to play pretty passive on their bonus rounds or even their eco rounds, which I think is the antithesis of how you're supposed to play things. You kind of want to play things aggressively. You kind of want to go into the round with like a game plan. And so they do. They set up a strong side like here towards A initially. And for the most part, things are kind of standard, right? You assume that, okay, with a mid push coming here from GX, then you're going to smoke it off. But then this short setup that they've got here, they can suss it out. They can tell something's going to be there, but it still works. Why? Because you have that support coming in from another player like Jing. And them having this double wall composition means that any position, or rather any space that they're able to take, which is rare on the defense a lot of times, they're able to secure it still even more. And that's the reason why they knew they were going to come towards A, because they just locked off B with the Vice. The fact that they had that wall up here, this sheer towards B main, they knew that there's going to be a good chance it's only going to either be a mid to B or it's going to be an A. And so they tried that. It didn't work. Now they're going to be sent on back. And this is part of the reason why I think lots of teams are choosing to play the Vice. Look at where Pause it right now. Look at where this util is, and look at where the Vice is. He's all the way from B. He threw that lineup at the start of the round from B. He has almost global influence on the entire map, both mid, both on B main, and both on A main, rather, A short. And that's part of the reason why I think teams want to try using the Vice a lot more, is because they see how much influence you could potentially have on the map. Now, that potential isn't necessarily being converted at this point. It's like a 3v1, like what can you do, right? But ultimately, I think this is kind of a good case in point of why teams have been using that Vice quite often in this tournament, even though on literally every map, it's had a lower win rate than the Cypher, because Cypher can, yes, also have global influence, but you have to actually run there to set it up. Vice doesn't always need to do that. And it's one of the only other Sentinels that you can do that with. Like, yeah, Chamber, you can leave a trap, but you only have one. A Killjoy, you have to be close to it. A Deadlock, it doesn't count. It's a deadlock. Right. So yeah, as a Vice, that's part of the reason why I think a lot of teams are using it, is because you can have so much influence on the map, and even the perceived threat of having a Vice on B kind of conditioned, or maybe not conditioned, but influenced GX to want to try to going towards B, rather going towards A and going towards mid to B and try to take market. So they're prepared for all that just by showing them from the get-go in B main that, hey, we have a Vice here. You're probably going to want to go the other way. And when they did, that's when they had, well, something waiting with the judge. And everybody else kind of assumed already what was going to happen simply by having that Vice on the map.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
That's awesome. And I think to further your point, right, it is also the nature of Vice's wall that kind of makes it more valuable than a Cypher. Sure, a Cypher trip kind of gives you that sense of security that this area is kind of safe, and as long as it's still there, but then it can get destroyed and then people can just flood in, right? But with Vice's wall, there's no way to destroy it. The only way to activate it is either, you fake jump, or you just have someone go through it. But there isn't really any easy way for you to disable it without, putting yourselves at risk. So this kind of gives you a bit of a freedom to leave Vice on her own on a site. Like in this clip that we just reviewed, Devi was trusted to just stay on B alone. And so the rest of the players can just mingle around mid or A short or A main. And even then, you also have a Sage wall to play with. And if you look at Ascent, it's not a particularly big map. And it all comes down to 4 entry points. You have a Vice wall, you have a Sage wall. You're only left with 2 entry points that you need to care about. And that makes life so much simpler. But obviously, it also depends on like how well the other team can counter that. Like if they play with time, it's easier for them to counter because the Sage wall doesn't last forever, obviously. But in this case, it did kind of work. We just couldn't close out in the attack, which is why I thought we needed to get more rounds on defense, which if they decide to run it again, I'm sure they've figured out some of these kinks and ironed them out.
I mean, I understand the woes in attack. I think the ones that I was confused about were just the 2 rounds where the retakes worked out for GX in general. You'd assume with double Sentinel, especially both of them having walls, that it's the post plant that's going to be the most effective part of their attacking rounds. But there were a few defusals that happened actually in this game. And so, I thought like, okay, getting into the site, that's understandable. But actually, confirming the rounds once you have it, that's where I thought they would, I guess, be a bit more efficient in and successful in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it all comes like vices to me come down to two things, like the individual, like cerebralness of the player, like knowing when to, throw the util and when to pop it and when to buy time. And then behind that, what are the protocols behind what you're doing with those setups? Because like this is a great round where they have really good protocols for it. But there's sometimes where teams don't have protocols where they're just like, I don't know, Vice just locked down the site and we'll try to make it happen off of the rest of the map. And
Feels
it's like, well,
talk about T1.
Yep.
He's gonna start crashing out again.
Yep. But like, and so the problem becomes with that is like good teams like G2 are gonna deal with your Vice util early.
That's right.
So you don't have that anymore.
That's right.
And so then you have to try to get creative in other ways, and then all of a sudden maybe you don't have the right protocols for these situations. And that's why I say for Meteor in particular, the other Sentinels suit him way better, because he plays off of info much better than he plays off of he plays off contact pretty well, but it's different with the way that they're baiting out his util. He doesn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Now you're making me kind of wish we're gonna see Ascent with this PaperX G2, because I just want to see. Yeah, I want to see what they come up with. Are they gonna play this comp again, like that kind of stuff? Interesting. How about we do pick'ems, guys?
Oh, just pick'ems. Ooh.
I don't know. Do you guys want to do pick'ems or?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Playoffs predictions there.
Yeah, sure.
Pick'ems.
Yeah, let's just do some rapid fire then. Fnatic DRX. Yeah. What do you think?
What
an opener. Okay.
Can I just say I'm glad there was no PaperX DRX this time.
Oh, dude, we
yeah.
were shitting our boots last night, waiting for the draw.
I mean, I think DRX has a real shot here, and the biggest reason is that like the 3 maps that Fnatic played against MIBR were Bind, Abyss, Haven. So you as Fnatic have a real question here, because so who actually, now that I think about it, who has the first ban? Because they both ban Sunset usually. So that's actually key. Because if it's DRX who has the first ban,
then Fnatic get to choose.
Right, but you got to play this mental game. Do you float Sunset and say, good luck? You force Fnatic to ban Abyss or whatever, or Haven, and then you can ban, I don't know, something that you think that you're not good at, Lotus or something. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. But that's now that I start thinking about that.
Yeah, that could be key. But it's usually a coin toss. So
I think, but doesn't Fnatic get the choice because they're the upper
seed? Yeah, but they're gonna have to choose whether they're gonna ban first or not, right?
Right. So if I'm Fnatic, I'm letting DRX ban first, 100%.
That's the favored strategy in the pick'ems, right?
Yeah.
Oh, not pick'ems, sorry, the map picks. You let the other team ban first, and then you just see what you can strategize from there.
Because then you can ban either Corrode or Abyss, whichever you feel is worse.
So let's assume DRX gets first ban. They're gonna ban Sunset?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Okay. So they're gonna float Sunset.
But they will.
But it's one of those, like, you're playing a game of chicken here. Like, won't they?
Are you gonna ban it?
Are you gonna ban it?
Like,
imagine if none of them ban it, just playing chicken, and none of them are ready for
Sunset at this point.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not even too unrealistic. Like, they might just let Sunset slide because they know they both don't want to play it, and then just be a bloodbath. Anyway, who do we want, guys? Fnatic or DRX? Well, not who do we want. Who do we got?
I feel obligated to say DRX.
Damn it.
That's fair.
I think statistically it's Fnatic, but I think DRX has a really good shot.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do DRX, guys.
DRX.
DRX, baby.
Asia.
Pacific Pride. YAP2ASIA. Someone is going to complain again that, this podcast is YAP2ASIA and they don't pick DRX.
Whoa.
PRX G2.
Oh, I wonder who.
It's pure.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Someone said, but
it would be interesting to see what the map veto of that one would be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, for all these matchups.
I think Ascent will get picked.
I
do
hope
too.
now that Ascent gets picked. I just want to see PaperX prove to us that this comp does have legs. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with PaperX, guys. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, PaperX.
All right, lock it in. Heretics, MIBR.
I don't know.
Dude, this
Depends
one's
on
tough.
form.
Dude, I don't know. This one's tough. Like Heretics on form, Aspa's on form. Who's stronger?
Yeah, I don't know. I think if MIBR breaks Heretics, like if they just start dunking on them, like if Cortesia and like Artisan are going crazy again alongside Aspas,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
kind of want to go for MIBR, and
Me
maybe
too,
I'm crazy.
Really?
No, I feel
Really?
you. I know. I understand your point, Clint. Like watching MIBR last night, like this is a different beast from what we're used to seeing. So, but it is Heretics, so I don't know. I'm gonna go with MIBR. I'm gonna go with Clint here.
I'm personally going to go with Heretics just because they dunked on G2 for one. They haven't dropped a
Yeah,
map in the
they
tournament for 2.
You're right. You're right.
I do think Aspas was able to get away with a lot that he shouldn't have been versus the teams
Right.
they played against. And I think Team Heretics are going to punish some of those over-eager plays that generally comes out from Aspas in general. So I'm going to stick with Heretics for this. I guess Quack, you're the type.
I'll go Heretics as well, and then we put Jondi in the tiebreaker. We need Jondi.
Yeah, Johnny.
Jondi.
Always love some input from Jondi.
I'm
Tiebreak.
gonna go with Heretics.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Heretics.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just think team being on point is better than
Yes.
One
our
guy.
player
Yes.
being on point.
Yeah,
Yes,
true.
yes, that is fair. But why not? It might
All
be
right,
there.
moving on.
Could be interesting. NRG GIANTX. I do think GIANTX is looking super solid.
This
and
is so tough.
Energy's a kind of a question mark.
Yeah, like I know they did really well. They did get first seed, but
Just don't see enough of them
yeah,
to really be able to say anything.
Well, it's weird because these are two teams who are like running
Yes.
different styles
Right.
than everybody else. Like they're running
Right.
some double initiator stuff, and like they're not leaning into the double duelist. Like
No.
I don't maybe like one map or something, but really their MOs right now are like obviously phenomenal fraggers, but really good util. Especially from the initiators, is really what's kind of setting these two teams up. So I think I'm going NRG here, but God, it's so close.
Oh, Corrode Lotus. This is very interesting.
I know. I'm like looking at their map pools.
Yeah,
me
they got pretty different map pools,
Yeah.
right? So it's gonna be a 1-for-1 type of stuff.
Three-mapper.
It's a 3-mapper for
It's like, what do you
sure.
think the decider ends up being here? Is the
Yeah.
real question.
I think Lotus might be one of the deciders.
Lotus.
Yeah, I think Lotus might be there because I think GIANTX kind of floats Lotus. NRG doesn't really care about Lotus either, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a Lotus 3-mapper, and for that, I'm gonna go with the GIANTX because they got the experience against PaperX. They're gonna carry it over, play it against NRG, and they're gonna win it. So GIANTX for me, lock it in.
Really?
I'm convinced.
I'm going NRG. NRG.
All right.
I'm GIANTX as well.
Oh, really? I'm
Okay.
going NRG. I'm going
All right.
NRG.
Tiebreaker, Juandi.
Wait, why
you got?
NRG?
I'm going because I think the Corrode is like it's a map that we've seen GX kind of float often, and NRG are pretty happy to play the Corrode, and they've been pretty good on Corrode for one. NRG have been, I mean, GX have been kind of 50-50 on it at best. So
Okay.
I do think it's a big glaring hole in their map pool because they're going to have to ban one of their other worst maps, your GX. So I just think map pool wise, NRG probably come out on top. Plus, Som is funny.
Mm.
Plus Sam. Nice. Okay,
Great
Johnny.
reasoning.
Juandi, tiebreak. Who?
Oh my god, this is too hard to pick. But if I have to pick, it should be NRG.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
Let's go.
Okay. All right. I'm.
Just leave Sleepy in the dust
I'm 0 for 2.
with the Jwandies.
With Jwandi siding on the.
Okay.
All right, cool. I don't think we're gonna do the whole bracket.
No, it
Like,
takes
there's no
a
point,
million
really.
years.
Yeah, so let's just leave it at that. You'll find out, guys, if any of us are correct. Spoiler alert, it's going to be me. Jwandi's going to be 0 for 2. And the predictions.
I guess we'll come back and see.
And we'll come back and see, and I'm going to rub it in his face, for sure. That's a promise.
There you go.
I remember when we tried to do the whole like barter gambling system.
Oh, the YAP
almost.
predict.
The YAP predicts, but then we all just lost money, or rather,
Dude,
not money.
yeah.
We all
All of
lost
us.
points because we were all so wrong.
It's like one person, one person maybe barely squeaked out, and then
we were all
everybody else just
negative.
negative.
We lost interest because we're poor. And YAP points. So, well, there you have it, guys. Any last closing thoughts before we head into playoffs this week?
Forget anything.
Let me see.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
By the time we make the next episode, Champs is going to be done.
I think so.
Do you guys want to talk about your prediction to win
For
anyway?
winners, yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I got
Just one name, right?
I got to start doing real predictions now that are going to actually be on
that's
the
true.
broadcast.
You're right.
That's
Hooray! That's all I got. I'm
Okay.
I was not gonna say.
I'm going to be getting on a plane in 12
Okay.
hours.
I'm putting Paper X up there.
All
I'm putting Paper X
we
up
all
there.
are.
We're putting
We
Paper
all
X
are.
up there.
I think we're all Paper X believers.
I know.
Yeah, I think so too.
How cool
This
is
is
that?
the year.
You know what? Let's just lock it in. Let's Paper X. Back to back for the first time ever, right?
Yep. At a Masters and a Masters and Champs.
Masters
Yeah.
and Champs. That could be fun to close out 2025. And we'll see if that's going to be true by our next episode. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. Leave a like and comment. Oh,
Oh, okay.
yes, we gotta address this elephant
Bring that
in the room.
elephant.
Yeah, very important. Very important.
Yes, Quack.
Yes. What?
Well,
How was the
explain.
experience? How did it feel? Tell me all
How
about
did
it.
feel? Well, okay. If we're going through that route, when I told the hair barber person that this is the haircut that I wanted, they kept asking me a bunch of questions like, "Are you sure this is what you want to go with?" And it started that doubt started to seep into the back of my mind. But I was like, "Yeah, just do it." And halfway through, he was like, "Are you really sure?" And I could start to
He
feel
asked
like,
you that halfway through?
Yeah.
What's the
He kept
friggin'
on
point?
giving me
You
this.
committed,
It's like,
yeah,
make sure
you
you
can't.
don't like you want completely shaven. You don't want to leave like
What if you say
maybe a little
no
bit on the
at that
back
point?
or-
Like,
I don't know. But I did start to like, oh, this is not good. This is horrible. But yeah, no, by the end it's like, all right, this
What part did he
It didn't look
start?
bad. I thought it looked fine.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
it was great.
Yeah.
it's great. I don't have to style or do anything.
Right.
I just, I was a little bit late to this call, but just got on real quick. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Exactly. It's the best.
The hair and makeup department are gonna love you. You're gonna have to do any work on this guy.
I am
No
every
weird-
makeup artist's favorite person on the
true.
broadcast.
The way they
It's
went
awesome.
exactly fourth is the funniest.
They literally call me. They literally call me 5-minute makeup because it takes because they don't
Oh
have to do my hair.
wow! I see.
Yeah.
Look, I just wanted to say, right, Quack, maybe you jumped the gun a little bit because what is the definition of end of the season? If we're going with champs,
Well, at a
we're
Pacific
technically okay, fine.
It depends on what he thought the bet was. I thought he might have meant champs originally too. I was
Same.
like,
See, like end of the season, like end of 2025. Like
Okay.
so.
guess-
I just wanted to put some regret into Quack's mind. Like, yeah,
Smart.
actually,
No
I wasn't
regrets.
Wrong.
I
No
tattooed no regrets somewhere on myself. Next year we'll all do more hot takes and we'll see.
yes.
yes.
What part did they start with? Like down the center? Did they start shaving you down the center?
No, they started like the sides and then the back. They're
giving you
They
time.
wanted to give you the option.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like,
One of
look
the
at his
weirdest haircuts
undercut.
I've-
Don't you like it?
Yeah, he was so unsure, but yeah.
Okay.
We'll
I
be more
mean,
specific with our bets next time.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, hot takes. I love hot takes. So why don't we incorporate some in the next episode, guys? We don't have to wait till next year for hot takes. We can do
That's
hot
true.
takes anytime. So
Ascension hot takes.
yeah, Ascension hot takes. That would be fun. Yeah.
Ooh. Next time.
Alrighty. Next time it is. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Leave down a comment for what you want us to talk about, or your thoughts, or if you have any hot takes that you want us to look at and discuss in the next
Ooh,
episode.
I like that.
I
Let's
think
do
that
that.
would be
Yeah,
fun, right?
yeah.
Like, you guys got any hot takes that you're not really comfortable sharing to your friends? Share it with us. We're
Yeah.
closer than your friends.
Judgment-free zone. We swear.
Judgment-free zone. There you go. Safe space, guys. All right, cool. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Bye.